The chair recognizes Representative Dean.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Ranking Member. Secretary Chavez-DeRemer, thank you for being here today, for your testimony, and for our conversation within the last week. I appreciate that. Madam Chair and Madam Ranking Member, I know I'm new to this committee, but I have to tell you there's something a little jarring about what's going on. I think we are here in appropriations hearings. Am I correct? And nowhere in your testimony are you revealing what the president is actually seeking, which is a $4.7 billion reduction to the Department of Labor. These are appropriations hearings. We should be hearing about the dollars. Your words are at complete odds. Your value of labor and of workers are at complete odds with the deep cuts that are proposed in the president's budget. And I'm puzzled that you wouldn't have written about it in your written testimony or testified to it today. You want to protect workers. You want to grow jobs. You just said that, Mackinac Island and everywhere else. You want to grow jobs. How do we do that with a $4.7 billion cut to the Department of Labor, 36% from 25 enacted levels? So I'm concerned about these cuts. I'm concerned what impact they'll have on workers across the nation. Labor is the backbone of this country. It is the backbone of this economy, an economy that we want to go positively as opposed to what is going on right now. These budget cuts will affect critical programs that support American workers, such as job training, unemployment benefits, workplace safety, and other vital labor protections. Workers are facing shifting job markets, and they have a lot on the line. And we have an obligation to fully understand how these proposed reductions that your president, our president, your boss, is putting forward. You know, I was mindful of our new Pope, who will be installed this weekend, Pope Leo XIV, who selected his papal name after Pope Leo XIII, who prized and was really sort of the godfather of social justice, Christian Catholic social teaching, and the rights of working people. It's in that spirit that I hope we can recognize the importance of all workers. And yet, if you take a look at the framing of this administration and labor and workers and read the March 27th executive order by this president stripping federal workers of their collective bargaining rights, as I said, this is in complete juxtaposition to the language that you are using, and you're not talking about the steep cuts. So let's talk about some of them. We know the benefits of workforce development programs. I've seen it directly in the community college in my district with their apprenticeship programs, working directly with the county to provide 1 to 2 year Montgomery County Works apprenticeship programs called MAP for students to gain in-demand skills at no cost. The program partners students with businesses in my area, providing an opportunity for a successful pipeline for employment. These programs are at risk. I'll tell you already, they're cutting. The Montgomery County Commerce Department in my district has already received notice of a 15% cut in annual Workforce Investment Opportunity Act, WIOA funding totaling almost $600,000. This is in conflict, again, with your words. You prize workforce development, and we are already forced, as a result of the actions of this administration, to cut. You talk about cutting waste, fraud, and abuse, and to restore freedom. The president's proposed budget cut would take $1.6 billion from Department of Labor grants and move the remainder to make America skilled again. I guess that's MASA. We'll add that to MAGA. We'll add that to MAHA and AHA. I cannot stand these slogans. I want substance. Let's talk about the substance of cutting $1.6 billion and shifting, and I say shafting, when you send it over to the states in a block grant program. Your argument is, the president's argument is, the states will have greater control. We know that not to be true. You're cutting what the states will get, and they've cut, as I just showed you, at the county level, what we can do. You propose, the budget proposes eliminating WIOA, adult job training, which would deny job training and employment services to more than 300,000 adults who face barriers to finding good-paying jobs, which would rob 135,000 young people of employment opportunities. Do you understand the conflict that we hear from your words and the deep cuts that this administration, they're already starting, and they're proposing for the 2026 budget, which you have not raised whatsoever?
Congresswoman, I know we're out of time, but I just do want to answer, and thank you for the phone call. Thank you for recognizing my values for the American worker. I do appreciate it, and so my words are true. This is a reevaluation of the taxpayer dollars in understanding how we can best dedicate it to the workforce. So while you want to call it cuts, that's up to you. I want to call it a reevaluation, and we want to focus those tax dollars because that's the
$4.7 billion.
American First
That's cuts.
agenda that we are putting forward. And I can guarantee you this, I will work my tail off, day in and day out, to protect the American worker, to provide the drop-down menu for the words that I've used in this testimony today, and I will work with you and everybody in this office to do exactly that.
But we're
While
here
we
today.
reevaluate taxpayer dollars that can save the taxpayer dollars and not the waste, fraud, and abuse. That's the goal of the American First agenda. That's the goal of this administration, and I will enact this administration and do both. We can do both.
But
and
in
we're
your role
going to
here
do
today,
both.
you did not describe a single cut. I think that misses what you were supposed to be doing here today.
Thank you.
I yield back.